welcome to this week's episode of the Heroes Table. I apologize if I'm a little sick. My voice might sound different. Hopefully it's still all clear. I'm your host Hisha, and with me I have my co-hosts Midnight and Teluvius.
Hey everybody.
I don't think we have any major news on this time, Eternity related. I think I've been a little bit out of the loop, at least over the weekend, but I don't think we had any major releases last week, did we?
No, I don't think so.
No.
So I guess we're just open for you guys' questions if there's anything you want to know. I think we had some information about what's coming up, maybe, or were we just discussing it in the... Oh yeah, I think one of the devs hinted about something. Maybe we can talk about that. I don't know. Our speculation about it. We probably can't talk about the details. I don't know if we even have the details at this time. I don't know if you guys have anything. I saw crypto related. The FTX hacker is apparently not a hacker, which is quite interesting.
Plot twist.
Yeah. So apparently, it's the Bahamas government that seized all the funds. They basically ordered Bankman-Fried to transfer the assets to the government.
Damn.
So as far as I know, the hacker or supposed hacker or alleged hacker has been selling all the assets. So it's kind of weird that the government isn't just holding the assets, but they are actually selling them. I don't know why they would do that, and I also don't know if the information is alleged, but as far as I know, the government have confirmed that it is true.
So they not only took it, but are now selling it off.
Exactly, which is very weird to me. Like now you don't have like Bankman-Fried stealing money from investors. You have the literal government stealing money from investors. Like what the fuck?
That's crazy. I read some article, weren't they like physically based in the Bahamas or something? Like a lot of the team was in the Bahamas.
Yeah, I think the headquarters was in Bahamas as well.
Wow. I wonder if the government's just cashing it out to like hold the USD or whatever, you know.
No, we don't really know. I think what their intentions are. Like, do they want to give the money back to the investors, but in a fiat currency, or like do they just want to keep the money for themselves, which would be very weird for a government to do that. But
yeah,
I don't really know the Bahamas, so I don't really know about corruption and everything else, like what their situation is, so I don't know if that's something that could happen there.
Right.
But I mean, it's very weird indeed.
Weird. Maybe they're selling it all to drop the price so they can buy it back cheaper.
I don't know. I mean,
Bahamas becomes the pro trader.
It would certainly be interesting for a government to do that.
Yeah.
But no, I guess it's everyone's guess what's happening. I mean, this story keeps getting weirder and weirder.
Yeah, it does. I just read an article about Ren Bridge, or the Ren team, and Alameda like partnering up, and then there was a report released recently about Ren Bridge being used to
money laundering
money. Yeah,
I saw something about it as well. I'm not entirely sure what that was all about, but yeah, I read something about that as well.
I mean, I think the whole article was like an advertisement for this like blockchain analytics product that can now track funds through bridges. I think that was like really the point, but they did it specifically about Ren Bridge and then connected it to Alameda Research, because they had partnered up previously. So it's kind of odd, but I wonder if they were taking a shot at Alameda while promoting a product.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what to believe yet either, because there's so much information, and it's difficult to sort like the actual information from the bullshit.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah. some stuff or some information have been confirmed, so at least we can like take that into account.
Right. I just my main thought on the FTX thing is like, and I guess this goes for all centralized exchanges, is like, in my mind, part of the whole point of crypto is not only decentralization in terms of I control my own money, whether that's a positive or negative thing, it's my money to lose. But like, none of their transactions are recorded on the blockchain. Like, how did they just move all this money around and no one knew about it when the blockchain that's literally why there's a blockchain, to make these things public, a public ledger.
Yeah.
And yet these centralized exchanges it wasn't public. Like, how? I don't know. It's just so baffling. It seems to go, in my mind, it goes against exactly what crypto stands for, to me, in my mind. It's just fascinating.
Yeah, and in a way, I think you're right, because usually they operate with this like cold wallet and hot wallets. I think multiple hot wallets, but maybe multiple cold wallets as well. But you can see the transactions between those. But I suppose all the off-chain assets that they have, you don't really have any insight into what's happening to those. But it should be impossible for them to move funds around once they have reached either their hot wallets and cold wallets. Like, you can monitor those. But I suppose because they are being used to transfer, like the hot wallets especially, like they transfer to everyone. So how are you gonna know which transactions are malicious and which aren't?
Yeah.
Even if it's on the blockchain, you can't really say for sure.
Right. I mean, do we know how they lost the money? Like, I know there was some discussion about them using deposits on other platforms to earn interest, to earn money on your money. So I would be curious if that is in fact what happened. If you could track the transaction of leveraging up and then trading, you could theoretically, people could watch their money to be disappearing.
Yeah.
Which seems like something someone would do for a platform that has billions of dollars on it, but I guess not.
I'm not actually sure if we have any details on that, like where they were invested. All I know, at least, is that they over-leveraged themselves because apparently they were bad at math or something, or they didn't have enough.
Being kind.
They weren't good at bookkeeping, I suppose, is the better word to use, or the better way of saying it. And they thought that they had more money than they had, or at least they had less exposure. They thought they had less exposure than they had. So they overexposed themselves because they were incompetent.
Jeez.
And then it went wrong.
The new CEO, I can't remember his name, posted something on Twitter to the effect of he'd never seen a corporation with so many, or such a lack of like fail safes in terms of oversight and just redundancy, security type checks and whatnot. So it does sound like it might have been a little bit incompetence in that respect.
Yeah. I did read about using like unencrypted emails to store wallet information. Like, good Lord.
Yeah, I think that was the initial speculation of how the developer account was compromised, that was used to hack. But it might not be the case after these revelations.
It's like so confusing. Like, how? Like, can just any college kid open a like centralized exchange and then people will just throw millions of dollars at it because like, I don't understand how, in like DeFi, I get it. You don't know who the developer is, right? You just see the product. They're not always docs, so you don't know who they are.
Hmm.
Like, I'm thinking of like Zeus. But for a centralized exchange, like, you can see who these people are. I'm pretty sure that's public information.
Hmm.
And like, you're just gonna give this guy billions of dollars? I don't understand.
But
It's
yeah, I
truly
think
baffling.
that's essentially how it's, because I don't actually know, but I think you can start by looking at how you interact with centralized exchanges. Like what do you look into when you decide which centralized exchange you want to use? It's probably something like, what is easy for me to use? Like, can I use
Yeah,
my card versus do I have to do
right,
something shady? Like I have to find someone and exchange cash,
right.
or like do I have to, I don't know, whatever they want. But like, you probably look at how easy it is to use. Then you, if you're reasonable, you also do some research into what do people say about this.
Yeah,
And if people generally don't have much negative to say, then okay, it's probably fine to use this for what I need it. And then once you get used to using it, you get more comfortable, and then you're like, oh, maybe I can use some other parts of what this exchange offers, because now I've been using it for a while for this other purpose.
yeah,
And I think that's kind of how you get to that point.
right. Just like, I only use centralized exchanges to on ramp
Hmm.
and
And I
get it
think
on
everyone
chain.
starts there.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. Like, I know Coinbase which is what I use for an on ramp, started requiring KYC after
Mhm.
September, and I just never completed it. So like, I guess currently I don't have an on or off ramp. Like, I'm not looking for that, but I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting. I guess in the US it's a little bit different because there are some centralized exchanges like Coinbase that clearly comply with regulations.
Mm.
And then there are others that are in more of a gray area. So you sort of have your choice of like, do you want to go that route or do you want to go a more gray area route?
But even that doesn't seem to be like a safeguard, because FTX, as far as I know, was also branding themselves as very compliant to regulation.
Yeah, that's true. But the FTX US is totally separate
Mm.
and
Yeah,
isn't exposed to this same thing.
except they still filed for bankruptcy.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's fair. I guess the FTX was the parent company for FTX US.
Yeah, but yeah, I suppose that distinction kind of saves them on that, but still, um, just because they claim to be adhering to regulations and complying, I don't know if that in itself is enough to trust them completely.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, that's fair.
I don't know how
It's
you
one
would
of
confirm it, but maybe there's public documents that confirm that we are actually complying. I don't know how all of that stuff works.
yeah. I wonder if they have SEC filings and stuff like that that are public record you can look at.
No.
No, crypto is such an odd space in that way. Like, if I'm going to hire someone to do a job in my house, I'm going to meet them face to face and talk to them, walk them through what I want done and get a sense of whether or not they can do it that way. But like, if I interact with a company, I'll look up the executives or, whatever.
No.
But you can't always do that in this space. It's interesting.
And yeah, to the, like, regarding what you said about like, can everyone just start an exchange? I think it kind of depends on where you're positioned in the world as well, or at least where you start the company, because I think some companies are definitely, or some countries are definitely more difficult to establish a new exchange than others.
Okay.
But
Okay.
generally, I think everyone could. Funnily enough, I actually spoke to a friend about potentially starting an exchange because of like how, because of how easy it is. Basically, you just need to do it right.
Right.
And I don't know if people do it with the intent to break, like to scam people or steal from people, or if you just get so comfortable that you just completely forget about all those things that gives you integrity.
Yeah.
Like I don't
Yeah, I
know.
mean-
Yeah.
It sounds like maybe they just like got in way over their head. I mean, I am sure that a lot of people in this space are great programmers, but there's a huge difference between being able to build the exchange and then understanding how to manage it.
Mhm.
And it just makes me wonder if people are like, well, I can build it, so I'll be good at this.
Yeah, definitely.
And then they're like, oh wait, what do I do with these billions of dollars, and how do I deal with that? And they don't have the finance background to like understand what is best practice or normal practice even in a finance arena with these types of things.
Mhm.
Not that there is a normal practice, it's crypto, so it's sort of unique in that way.
Yeah, and I think that's where like country-specific regulation comes in, because in some countries, in order to even start a company, you have to like provide a lot of documentation. You have to like file a lot of stuff. So you might already at that point be like responsible for some things that allows or that prevents you from doing this kind of unregulated exchange. Like the country might have some things that are covering, even if it's a crypto exchange, it's still like you're still covered by the laws about exchanges in general.
Right.
For that country, like that might be something like that, but
yeah,
at least I think that's true for the country I'm residing in. At least I don't think I would just be able to start an exchange and steal a lot of people's money without any like repercussions. I don't think I would even manage to flee the country if that was the case.
You never know till you try.
Of
That's
course.
true. That's true.
I don't think I want to try it.
Have you ever thought about a vacation in the U.S.?
Yeah.
Well,
come on over, take a little vacation.
Yeah, maybe don't use my exchange if I suddenly go on like multiple years vacation out of nowhere.
And same, I mean, if I ever want to take a European vacation, maybe I'll just start my own exchange. And
It's little vacation money from there.
yeah, dye my beard like gray to look sort of older and wiser than I am, and then maybe, pump investors for money that I then pocket most of. What a good lesson learned from Sam.
No, definitely. I mean, it seems logical to me. No, I think we just need some time. I mean, the worst part of this is how it's gonna impact all of crypto. Like, this is something that happened because of few people's incompetence or intent to do bad things. I'm not sure, but it's gonna have an effect on the whole crypto space because, like, regulators are gonna, I don't know, twist their pants about this because now they really have something to focus on. Which isn't even the fault of crypto.
Right. It's just malicious or incompetent actors, or a little bit of both, maybe.
No, I don't even know if crypto has any part in this actually, because it was a centralized exchange. It literally has nothing to do with the fact that it was on crypto, maybe except for the argument of regulation.
Right.
Like that's really the only difference from this could have happened for any exchange to this happened to a crypto exchange.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the crypto was just the medium that they were exchanging, but didn't really
the business wasn't really related to crypto other than they were exchanging it.
Yeah.
So So it's a bit annoying that it's gonna reach this far. I think I saw some articles about it already starting to happen now. I think Biden said something. I don't know what it was, but I just saw it before we went live. There was some article about it, so I guess we'll have to see.
Yeah. If anything, it just gives them a reason to come into the space, which may be good for it. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not inherently against regulation in the space. It just has to be done right, and I don't think it can be done right if it's done quick.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I fear the most, is that they're gonna make some quick decisions that's gonna hurt the space, and not it's gonna hurt the space so much that we might not be able to achieve what crypto wants to be because of these hasty regulations. And then it becomes this underground thing where we're still gonna do it, but now it's gonna be illegal to do it.
Right.
And it doesn't have to be illegal, but it's illegal because it was a hasty decision that made it
They
illegal.
couldn't think of a better way, a more thorough or accurate way to regulate it.
And maybe the fact that it's still going to happen will eventually push them to make regulations that make more sense.
Right.
But that would still require people to break the law initially.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if we could avoid that whole thing about criminalizing people that actually just want to move the space forward, I think we could move forward much faster. But if we have to be criminals in order to move the space, then obviously it's going to be a slow process. Because now you also have to not get caught.
Yeah, and you're going to end up with a lot more malicious actors.
Yeah.
Because then it's underground, and people are going to be
Yeah, they are basically they're gonna make the problem worse by trying to fix the problem in the wrong way.
Yeah, absolutely. So hopefully they don't. From what I understand, at least from what I have heard, at least the government, U.S. government is all I can really speak to, has a pretty good understanding. Maybe not the people that are speaking in Congress about it, but the sections of the government that are actually focusing on crypto have a good understanding of the space, the technology, and actors in it. So at least to me, it's a little bit encouraging that if they, do move towards actually implementing some regulation, they'll call these people who have been studying the space and understand it relatively well on sort of how to proceed.
Yeah, I certainly hope so as well. And again, as I said, I'm not inherently against regulation as long as it's done in a way that the space can still move forward. But maybe we can get rid of some of the bad actors. But I think the line between bad actors and legitimate cutting edge new stuff, experiments, is very thin. You very quickly go from I'm trying new things to I just scammed a lot of people.
Yeah.
Especially in the eyes of regulation, because I might not have intended to scam anyone, but what I did happened to result in that. And I might not even have benefited from it, but somehow I lost people's money. And it wasn't my intent to do so. But now I'm a criminal suddenly.
I think that's where it's important to not just be a programmer, right? Or at least not just think about the code. Because the code is only one aspect, but you have to really think through what the code is doing and what it does and how it handles things and how you approach the money, like we've talked about so much, the treasury system and stuff. You really have to think through that aspect. You can't just say, oh, hey, cool, I made this awesome new platform. I have no idea what's going to happen with the money that goes in here, but please give me your money.
No. Yeah, there's definitely going to be a lot of thought that has to be put into it. But of course, it also depends because, I think no one can deny that crypto is, it is, what's the word? It goes against the idea of governments, the heart of crypto. It is not something that is good for governments. So it also depends on how far is the government willing to assist in the growth of crypto, because it is essentially allowing the enemy to have access to your I don't know, regions or something. Like how far
Right.
are they willing to go with this? Because eventually it's going to be a bigger problem than it is right now for the governments. When enough people kind of rally and begin to use crypto, governments start becoming less and less relevant. Of course, I'm speaking of like many years into the future here, but eventually that is a future that could be possible. That enough people have gone into crypto in a way that kind of makes governments obsolete. I don't think this is probably not going to happen in our lifetime, but how willing are the governments to help get crypto in as such a position?
I mean, I think the answer to that is going to depend on how you view the role of a government
Mm-hmm.
with its citizens, right? Like,
Yeah.
ideally, to me, the government would provide enforcement against malicious actors, would go after the scammers and the malicious actors in the space and help provide a safer space in that way.
Yeah, maybe the government finds a way to self-insert themselves into crypto. Like they find a way to make them relevant.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they will. I'm sure at some point we will see countries producing their own tokens. I know China's been talking about it a lot. I don't actually know if that launched or not, but I know they've been looking at doing that, and I'm sure other governments will. But even if they do that, I think the question is, how far do they go?
Mm-hmm.
If they're if they're going after bad actors to make the safe space, like the space safer for investors, then that's a real benefit in my mind. Where they draw the line on who's a malicious actor can get a little interesting. But if they're acting in a way that provides some safety and security for the people using it, or at least a deterrent for bad actors, that's good. But if you see government more less altruistic, is how I'll put it, then you could easily see it going into basically just policing the blockchain and trying to change things for their benefit and push people into their token instead of other tokens. And then once multiple countries have tokens, I'm sure there'll be an economic war about whose token is, more used or popular or whatever.
Yeah.
If everyone in charge was only concerned about the people, then everyone would just use Bitcoin. But that's not how it's going to go down, because everybody wants to control everybody else.
That's true. Yeah.
Like, it's already there. We don't need to. We could just use it.
Right. Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
But that's not going to happen. So.
Yeah, that's probably highly unlikely to happen.
Yeah.
But I do actually feel like we are starting to see like other countries looking more, at least neutral, towards Bitcoin. Maybe not in a way that they are going to adopt it as legal tender, but at least they are not like actively against the idea of people using Bitcoin. Like some countries, of course, it's only the smaller countries for now, because they are probably the most likely to benefit from that, the stability that Bitcoin may provide. Once it stops being so volatile all the time. But I can definitely see that, like, if Bitcoin is more stable than the native currency of a country, I can definitely see the appeal in just adopting Bitcoin.
Yeah.
But of course, again, it's not something that's going to happen overnight. But I feel like I'm starting to see a more positive sentiment towards at least crypto. Among smaller countries. But I think it also heavily depends on people. Like, there's a lot of propaganda going against crypto, and I think that might even be, this is all speculation, of course, and maybe a little bit tinfoil hat-ish, but yeah, might be like they're trying to basically turn the populations against crypto such that there won't be like a push from the population towards crypto, because I suppose then that will either allow them more control in how to adopt crypto, or it will give them more time to figure out how to adopt crypto, or it will allow them to never adopt crypto because most of the people are against it. But again, I don't know if that's how it is, or if it's just the media acting on their own, trying to bash crypto for some reason.
Well, controversy sells, so maybe they're trying to create controversy
Yeah.
to sell more news about the controversy they created.
Yeah, I guess it might just be part of the media machine and not related to governments at all.
I could see a little bit of both. The media
Yeah.
has an interest in stirring up trouble, and the government has its own interests in this kind of thing.
But yeah, it's definitely difficult to say for sure what's going to end up happening. I still think crypto has a long way to go. I know some people think it's I don't know if cringe is the right word, but at least cringe when people say we're still in the early days of crypto. But I do think we are, because like we are experiencing all these things that has already occurred for other things in the past. Like, I think this is kind of similar in scale, maybe not similar situation, but kind of similar in scale to the dot-com bubble when that bursted, because everyone was on this thing and it completely exploded, and then it started on the path that we are on now, which was I guess more manageable than what it was before the burst. And I mean, hopefully that's what just happened now. Like, now we've gotten rid of all the crazy stuff and all the bad actors, or at least the big players, and now we can start like focusing on the good stuff and the sustainable stuff, and like now we're starting to focus on things that actually make sense.
Yeah.
But we'll
Some
have to
serious
see.
growing pains.
Yeah. And I think that's why we are still in the early stages, because we're kind of going through these problems that pretty much all new technology has gone through. And I think that kind of sends a good signal to me that we are kind of following the footsteps of other big technology, because that means crypto is not insignificant. Like, it means something, because it's following in the footsteps of other technologies that ended up becoming something.
Right. Well, I mean, geez, after like DeFi summer, crypto's been around for decades now, but DeFi summer really set things on a whole different trajectory. And after exponential growth like that in such a rapid amount of time, it seems only natural that would be some pullback, consolidation, and maybe rethinking on the space, what the space is and how to use it. So the larger market, of course, doesn't help with any of that, and it might have been a lot less painful had the market overall not gone the way it did.
But as long as the general tendency is that crypto is kind of growing all the time, I think that's a good signal, even though we might have some troubling years and periods. It's still going pretty good, actually, compared to where we were just like a few years ago.
Right.
And
People
right
are
now
still
might be
building.
like the worst scandal that we've experienced yet, but still doesn't mean it have to be the end.
Yeah. I mean, it's still around. It's still in the public conversation, and people are still here and still building. So I think as long as that happens, there's a future.
Yeah.
It's just will look a little bit different than it did during DeFi summer and the fallout from that.
Yeah, and it might have been like, because of the very good period, there was a lot of inexperienced people coming on, so it was easier to scam people, I suppose.
Yeah.
And like, it was just a chain reaction from there.
Yeah. Absolutely. Celebrities being prosecuted as, promoters for crypto, where they just got paid a bunch of money to say buy this token, and lo and behold, it's a scam.
Yeah.
Of course, it's a scam.
But yeah, it shows as well, like, the integrity of these celebrities, because they don't even look into what they're promoting. They just accept it for money. I'm sure many people also declined when they got offers, which is probably what everyone should have done until at least understanding what they are selling or what they're promoting, I suppose.
Right.
But yeah, I think it's actually good that there's some consequence for the celebrities as well, because it might discourage other celebrities from making the same mistakes.
Yeah.
Oh, I just got wrecked there. Interesting. Yeah, so I think it's a good thing, even though I can also see it from the point where they're just earning money. Like, it's just a job, I suppose. It's part of being an influencer, I suppose, promoting things. But, like, I think it's a good lesson in you can't just promote everything. Like, you have to think about what you're promoting, because, like, you are being someone people are looking up to. So, like, some people will do anything you say.
Yeah.
Like, if you told them to jump off a building, they might even do it. And that's clearly illegal, so...
Yeah.
At least I think it is. But yeah, like stuff like that. It's I don't know what people are expecting if they are like not paying it. Like I don't know what they were expecting. Yeah,
you don't know anything about it, and you just tell everyone to buy it. Like
and I think it happens more than we know outside of crypto as well.
Yeah, that's true. But it comes different. Like, it seems different with investments. Like, if you see crypto as an investment, then like you don't have commercials where celebrities are like, buy this stock.
That's true.
I've never seen a stock commercial. I don't know if those are a thing, maybe outside of my circle, but it just seems odd. It's another example, I guess, of where it's a new space, and so people aren't quite sure what the rules are. So they just do whatever they want and then get surprised when they get in trouble for getting a bunch of people scammed.
No.
Well, the good news is we're still here and building.
Yes.
And have a great game.
True.
With more stuff coming. Can't even remember what. I know we have a list of priorities. No, I have it somewhere around here.
Yeah, it should be in the Eternity chat, I believe.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Oh, there's also the stuff from the Medium article. They definitely had an updated list there. I think that might be more up to date than what we have in the Eternity chat.
Yeah, so for the priorities moving forward, they're at the bottom of the most recent Medium article. Looks like campaign map, like they teased, which will be really nice. I think that'll help us with a more narrative approach to the sort of storyline.
Yeah, I don't actually know how much information is public about that. Because I think that is the one feature that we know the most about of the upcoming stuff. But I don't actually know how much of it is public.
Right. So if you hadn't heard about the campaign map, then there's a little bit of alpha for you. Something to look forward to.
It's very nice.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really nice.
I think it's gonna... it's not going to be the most impactful thing for the game, but I think it's definitely going to be like changing the way you play the game, probably.
Yeah.
And I think it's just going to make the experience much nicer.
Yeah.
But I think like generally it'll be the same game, but but kind of new as well, I suppose.
Yeah, absolutely. be more of a game. It'll put the story and the setting sort of more in the forefront, which will be good. I think it'll be a good way to update the experience. And of course, more content. Always more content. Always looking at new bosses and new heroes.
That's a lot of alpha.
It's just not fun not to share, It's
true.
And that stuff is at the bottom of the Medium article. So at least generally, the Medium article talks about 2 new classes, the Magician and the Tribunal, and new bosses that you'll have to face in order to get those characters. So looks like they're, extending the in-game story portion while you also, of course, have the Dark Tower to grind to your heart's content and get those eye levels up. More outfits. The outfits seem to have been a hit, which is good. I agree. We've talked about them before, but definitely like that aspect of it. How are you coming on your Dark Tower journey, Hisha?
I seem to be consistently able to beat floor 1 now. I have a few failures still, but it's more consistent now than it has ever been. So progress.
Yeah.
This fight seemed to be going very slow, but at least I'm not immediately dying. I'm fighting Ham at the moment, but I feel like I'm doing so little damage. But on the other hand, he is doing very little damage as well. So
there you go.
So we're kind of just going back and forth, taking a very small amount of hit points away from each other.
It's an endurance game.
Yeah. Okay,
For the bosses, I always liked the damage over time stuff, just stacking up the bleeding and the burning and the...
Yeah, that's basically what I'm doing as well.
Yeah. And then eventually it always seems to hit this turning point where you've stacked so much that in each turn the boss just loses a chunk because you just built up so much on it.
But even with all of that, I feel like he's going down very slowly.
He's a big boy.
He sure is. Maybe that is, he can take a lot. But it's kind of a problem because I am losing my vampire. That's not good. I need my vampire. I'll see if I can prevent my vampire from dying. Okay, so if he kills her within 7 turns, or within 6 turns, I think, that would be great, because then she won't die. Okay, I think it just happened. Nice. Now I just need to find out how to heal her back up.
Really got to talk to the team about getting the High Priestess back in the store for you. Maybe just a Hisha only High Priestess sale.
And then 90% off, of course. Because I deserve it.
Well, see, that's the catch. It's Hisha only High Priestess, but it's at a 90% cost increase.
Oh, damn.
So, yeah, that's the catch. No, just kidding.
Oh no, this is not gonna go well. My poor vampire. And I can't prevent death. Okay, I can maybe heal a little bit. There wasn't really a lot of healing.
Right, I guess you have no resurrection, huh?
Nope, I only have my monk who can put the, like, don't die for one enemy one time. Yep, there she goes. Alright, it's all on you guys. He's
Got this.
very low health, but we might have a chance.
Just hard carry.
Just debuffs, all the debuffs.
Yep.
Oh no, it's the Augur's turn next. Oh no. Can we save the Augur? I guess not. If not, if you keep missing like that. Okay, let's do this one. Okay, nice. Let's do this. More debuffs. That's not a lot of damage. Oof, there he goes. Okay, we're down to 2.
Gonna be a close thing.
It's gonna be very close. Because I
Come
think
on, Gambler, you got this.
I think my vampire is the most tanky.
You got this, Gambler. You can do it.
Yes, go for that guy. That's great. Do I want to kill him? For the boost. That wasn't a lot of boost. Okay. I was hoping for a better, but okay, we got this. Come on.
You can do it. You can do it.
So close. Kill him. Oh no. Yes. Damn. That was intense.
Very nice.
Don't know if that was worth it. It was a very long fight, and we didn't really get anything. I guess an Earth Core is good, but I don't know what it's used for. But great. Let's see, we can try floor 2. Maybe I can get better stuff from there, if I don't get immediately wrecked.
Believe in you. You can do it.
I don't know how quickly it goes up in difficulty in the different floors. Seems reasonable. Seems reasonably easy compared to floor 1. Okay, they do a lot of damage though. Maybe I spoke
guess
too soon.
When Ham is your first floor, you're probably, at least hopefully, gonna have it easier on the next one.
It's always already not looking too great for the monk.
If I had an extra high priestess, I would send it to you.
Nice. I don't need no high priestess. we know how to fight. I think I have pretty decent damage actually overall. I just need more or less weak.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely have some high damage characters. Gambler can produce a whole lot of damage real quick.
No. And I have a lot of AoE as well, which helps me a lot. Okay, Sundin floor 2. Let's see how this goes. Let's start the debuffs. You don't have many debuffs. Okay, we can get the bouncer out. Maybe he can do some bullet sponging. Okay, some healing. That's great. Let's get some boost. Okay, what are you gonna do? Oh, of course.
Curious to see what sort of capabilities the new bosses have. They seem to have created sort of an interesting ability or focus for each boss. So I'll be fascinated to see sort of what they pull out as we move forward with new bosses and maybe some new mechanics, some new abilities. That would be pretty cool.
No,
A whole lot of possibilities.
I don't like the fact that she copied my monk and he's healing her. Actually, where is this healing coming from? Why is she getting so much healing? I don't understand. Stop it. Does she just heal a lot? No. It was my vampire apparently. Or it just... I don't know what happened. Huh. Interesting. I would prefer she would stop copying. Oh no. I'm fucked. Yeah, this battle just got a lot more difficult. Oh dear. Yeah, I don't think this is gonna be a victory. Nope. Lost the monk. Oh no. Okay, so she's healing while she have copies. That sucks for me. A lot. Gambler versus gambler. Oh no. Oh, okay, this gambler just went for the dead character. Interesting. Yeah, now she's back to full health. Yeah. Nice.
Ouch.
Yeah, the fact that she's
you made
healing
it past
when...
floor 1.
True.
Good job.
But the fact that
Progress.
she's healing while she has copies is... That's what that hurts.
Yeah. That sucks.
That just erases all progress pretty much instantly. Just like, nope.
That's always the worst. Oh, I was doing so well, and now that's back at full health somehow.
Yep.
Great. So, chances we see any turkey characters? Thanksgiving is just an American thing, which I always forget, but could really see the executioner with like a turkey head.
It's not something I've been thinking about, but I mean, I guess I'm not against it.
The turkey-cutioner?
Turkushna.
Yeah. It's a little something I'm working on.
I see. So you're already modding the game, I see.
Yeah, I'll draw it up in MS Paint. It'll look just like my world map, my Epic world map. It'll be perfect.
I see. Oh, so you're not actually gonna mod it into the game, you're just gonna tell the devs to do it.
Well, no, I'm going to make my MS Paint drawing, and then I'm going to put that into the game.
Ah, I see.
And it'll look like my 2-year-old drew it. It'll be perfect.
But you can also skip some steps and have your 2-year-old draw it.
Oh, good call. It'll probably turn out more recognizable as a turkey.
Huh.
And that's why I'm not on the art team.
Yeah, me neither. I mean, I tried to mod a chat into the game, and I mean, the chat worked, but it wasn't pretty.
At least it worked.
It should still work, actually. Just no one uses it. So I stopped working on it.
Gotcha.
But everything is still set up, so it technically still works.
Yeah. Maybe something to revisit.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe when there's more interest. Man, this
I notice,
fight stings.
we've been getting more interest, at least from like game Twitter accounts. So, kind of nice to see.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I don't know if this is gonna go well either. Doesn't seem to be going too well. Once again, doing very little damage.
You know, it always throws me off now that when you open a character screen to start, like when you're about to start a quest, when you open the character screen, it opens in a new tab for me. That always throws me off. I always end up with like 6 tabs. Like, what is all of this?
Interesting. I don't think it does that for me.
Oh, really? Okay. So I'm on Firefox, and every time I click, like open the character screen when I'm getting ready for a battle, there's a new tab that opens, and that's where the character screen opens. And then instead of Xing out of that tab, I will just navigate from that tab back to the quest and fight the quest. And so I always have like 4 screens that are my characters waiting to start the same quest.
Interesting.
Over and over until I'm like, oh wait, yeah, that's stupid. I should stop doing that.
That sounds like a bug. Or at least sounds like something that is not intended. I don't know if it's a bug.
Yeah. I wonder if I could... No, that probably wouldn't work. If I could run the quest on each tab. I wonder if they have some...
Now you're starting to think like Hisha. That's definitely something I would do.
Yeah. That's interesting. I have to try that.
I don't think it's gonna work though. I think I've tried something similar.
Right. Yeah, I think they have some protection against that.
Yeah, most of the stuff that was fun breaking was the equipment system. Equipping stuff you're not supposed to is always fun.
Yeah. Or being able to... Wasn't there something where you could like equip one item to multiple characters or something like that?
Oh yeah, I think there was something like that as well, yeah. But like being able to equip a 2-handed weapon and then also have a shield or a 1-handed weapon in the other hand. Yeah. That was also fun. But yeah, I do think I had a shield as well that I could I had it on one character, but then I could also equip it on someone else. And then it turns out the shield didn't really know where it was. Oh, it was equipped, like from the shield's perspective, it was equipped to the last character. But both characters thought they had the shield equipped.
They're just sharing it. They're just sharing the shield in the battle, you know?
I mean, that would actually be interesting if you could equip the same item to characters, but then you can't use those characters in the same game.
Oh yeah, that would make sense.
You can equip them similar, but you can't use the same equipment at the same time, unless you have multiple of that equipment, which I think is very rare to do. Like, you have to be very lucky if you roll the same equipment twice, I think.
Right. That would be interesting. The inventory is more of like a central thing instead of more like a character specific thing. And
maybe you would be able to set up like multiple sets of inventory. So like prefer this equipment, then this, and then this. And then like have a selection of that, maybe like 4. And then like depending on who you are in battle with, like you can maybe prioritize, like I want this character to prioritize. So I always want this character to use his best equipment, but that I have defined as his best. And then, like, when equipment is unavailable for the next character, it'll just select the next prioritized equipment.
Ah, jeez.
It sounds like a lot of work, but
yeah. Yeah.
But in that case, regardless of which heroes you choose to go into a quest, you will always have the equipment that you want. Like, instead of, like, now I just equipped all my best equipment on this one, but now I'm going to stop using it, like this character, because I want to use a different composition. So now I have to de-equip everything from this guy in order to equip it on someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, it's still something that you might want to do, but it's just more work, especially if you then want to go back to this character and then you have to dequip it on the new character in order to put it back on the old one. But yeah, maybe that could turn into a suggestion sometime.
Interesting.
I
They
think it would
did-
be a nice quality of life. Definitely nothing game breaking or anything.
Yeah. So they did make a protection against running the same quest multiple times on different tabs.
Mm.
I have 3 tabs open and started the same quest,
Mhm.
and it started it across all 3 tabs, and I can only play on 1 tab.
Hmm.
The other 2 are just blue. Interesting. Good to know.
Yeah, I wonder if you're gonna get rewards for that quest then, because
I don't
I'm
know.
pretty sure if you start a quest and then play a different quest, and then you finish the quest you started before, you're not gonna get rewards from that first quest.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So I don't know if they do the same if you start the same quest multiple times, if you're just
Right.
not gonna get rewards for it.
Yeah. Oh my god.
But yeah, we have reached the time where we have passed the time, so we'll have to wrap it up here. I don't know if you guys have any closing comments.
I won't be around next week
Okay.
because of the American holiday.
Ah, I see. Americans and their holidays, I guess. I think I should
will-
be around.
I will probably be here, so I will see you guys then. Thank you for tuning in and listening to our thoughts and discussion.
As far as I know, I'm gonna be there as well, but I don't know. Maybe my brain will come up with something that prevents me from doing it because I forget something and then I will get the signals. I don't know.
You have too much turkey to eat.
Yeah, except I don't think we
Personally,
have that in my country.
You don't have turkey? Oh,
Well, we probably can have turkey, but we don't have a holiday about eating turkey.
bad.
I think, what is it? I think, no, I don't know. We have some holiday where you eat some bird, but it's not turkey. I was thinking it might be goose, but I don't think you eat goose. So it's probably
you can
not
eat goose.
You can? Okay. I don't
Oh, yeah.
think it is. Maybe
It's
it
just
has
very-
been.
It's just very greasy.
I'd rather have duck.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
maybe it's duck. But yeah, anyway, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Yeah, very nice stuff as always, I think, in my opinion. And yeah, definitely come check us out again next week where we will have much more interesting stuff to talk about. Maybe not about eternity. Well, I mean, everything we say about eternity is going to be interesting, of course, but other interesting stuff as well. I'm sure we can figure out something. We always do. We always have. And we always will. All right, guys. Yep. See you all next week, and have a nice rest of this Sunday. Nice.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye bye.